today we have a special visitor, Marlys Zill, and she has agreed to taste some mangoes with us. And as you probably know, Marlys is not a stranger to mangoes. She was sort of born into the business because her father was Lawrence Zill, who was a very big name in Florida mangoes, and actually worldwide, really, in the mango community. I think people all over in India and Australia and every place are, who have been in the mango business probably know Lawrence, at least know of him. So anyway, I was wondering, with all of your experience with mangoes, what are the standout varieties? What varieties do you like to eat when given the chance?
When given the chance, I prefer, of course, Carrie, named after my grandmother, is one of my favorites. But in addition to Carrie, I love the lemon zest, and I love the sweet tart, and I also like the new Angie.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the lemon zest seems to be my very favorite of all the mangoes. And it's a new mango. It's not
Right.
an old-timey mango. It's not stringy. It's big. And on my property, it doesn't have any bacteria. It has a nice color to it, a bright yellow. And I live out in Loxahatchee right now, so that's saying a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of mango varieties that don't do so well in
Right.
Loxahatchee, so it's really wonderful to know that lemon zest does.
It does. For me, it does. And so does the sweet tart. And of course, the Carrie does well out there. There are several varieties that do well, and then there are some that don't. And so I don't grow them out there.
So what have you tried to grow but have decided it's not worth growing?
Well, let me think about that a minute. I tried, because I have had several just cut down. I'm not real into grafting. I'm not as young as this lady over here, Miss Chris, and I don't have the energy or the health to top work like you do, and I wish I did. But I can't readily say off the top of my tongue. I didn't have much luck with the coconut cream. I had it one time, trying to recall its name. I can't, but anyway, I had to have it cut down. There's a few that just don't do well out there, and some that I've known about, I haven't even tried them. If people in this neck of the woods have a problem with it, I know out in Loxahatchee in the boondocks, we're really going to have a problem.
Yeah, Loxahatchee is generally more humid than it is here, and so you have more problems with anthracnose, right?
Very much so.
So any variety that tends to have anthracnose, in the eastern part of the county is probably really going to be hit with it out in Loxahatchee.
Yeah. My Karen Michelle has done well out there. The Marlys mango has done well out there. It's such a fast grower, however. And I have several other varieties, Indian varieties, that unless I read the name, I can't recall it right off. But they do okay out there.
Okay.
But they don't produce as well as my lemon zest or my sweet tart or the Carries, or the Mahashinook is another one that does well out there.
Do you have Duncan or Pickering out there?
I have Pickering. It does very well. My little Pickering tree, I don't have to have it pruned back every so often. It stays a lovely size, and it doesn't have anthracnose. It's a wonderful mango.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's, I'm sure, is going to be helpful information to some of our viewers. But speaking of mangoes, are you ready to try some?
Of course. Do you have new varieties, or what are these?
Well, we have an assortment of varieties. One or two of them is new, but I think a lot of them might be familiar.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see what this one is all about.
Well, it has a pretty orange color inside, so it should be rich.
Very juicy, so I see the glisten, the sun on the juice.
Very juicy and some fiber.
Is this East Indian?
Mm-hmm. The fiber.
Yeah.
It's not been my favorite. Now, a lot of people love them, but they're not my favorite. They do have a good mango flavor to it. All right, here we go. I'll do that. That's what I do at home.
Direct feeding the plant, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, nice flavor.
Nice flavor.
And really, really popular mango with people from the Caribbean.
Well, it's a flavor they're used to, and the strings don't bother them. The fiber doesn't bother them. If you get spoiled and you're not used to the fiber, and still the good mango flavor, then you like some of the other ones better. Hello, do you like mangoes? You know, I have a cat that likes mangoes.
Oh, about that. That's unusual.
And his name is Mango. He's orange and white. That has no flavor. That has a good...
No fiber.
No fiber. It has a lot of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Not as maybe a rich a flavor as the East Indian, but it has a good flavor.
Yeah, it has a little...
It's mild.
A little sparkle to the flavor, too. A little...
I don't recognize it. I should.
I think that's an Angie.
Oh, well, I have an Angie
it's
tree.
Not.
It's not. It doesn't have the color. Angie has a little color.
Okay.
No, what is it?
I didn't look at the top enough. So this is a dot.
Oh, after my mother. I've always liked the dot. How about that? I don't have a dot at my property. I should, but I don't, and I don't know how it would do out there. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. That is a fine mango.
Mm-hmm. I can see why Mother liked that. And why my dad, instead of calling it Dorothy, he called it Dot. Well, you can't help but need a napkin if you're eating mangoes.
Either a napkin or a source of water to keep washing, right?
Absolutely, like right over the sink.
Yes. So let's see what's next. We'll go for this one.
I don't know what that is. That is a mango cutting knife you've got there, Chris. Oops. Okay, now this has a little more yellow color as far as the flesh is concerned. I'm trying to think what this
It's a slight blush on the skin
nice,
here.
Slight
blush there.
Mmm. Is that coconut cream?
You got it.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites. I really like it, but it doesn't do well out where I live, which is a shame. But it is a delicious mango, no fiber, and it usually is very productive.
Yeah, for us it's consistent. It's probably not the most productive variety, but it's sort of consistent.
The problem with coconut cream is the squirrels, the blue jays, and the woodpeckers seem to like it best.
Really?
They will go for it and leave some others.
We haven't had any problem with squirrels on coconut cream.
Really?
So it's
just the woodpeckers and the blue jays?
yeah, it's like usually we don't have, I mean, the main problem we have is that we don't seem to be able to pick it all, and so it drops to the ground.
Yeah, my tree got really, really big, and they would drop because the tree was so big, and I couldn't sometimes see them up in there. They didn't, they were hiding. But it's a very delicious taste. I appreciate that.
So, let's see what we have here. Well,
Do you like mangoes?
trying to feel what's the ripest part of this, because it seems like it's fairly firm.
And that's round. That's quite round, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember one, I can't call the name of it right now. But it
And
was
very
round.
juicy. A little tartness to it because of being slightly underripe, but I actually like that.
I like that. It's good for a change. If we eat mangoes all the time and all it is sweet, it's too overpowering.
This just sort of melts in your mouth.
It does. It's very good. What's the name of that one?
I think it's Venus.
Okay, it could be. It's just a small one.
Yeah, it's early in the season
Mm-hmm.
for Venus. Venus is a late fruit, but we have been getting a few Venus,
Now?
yeah.
I have a Venus. It had I think it had 4 only fruit on it this year, and it's probably been in the ground 5 years. But it does quite well out there. It doesn't get the anthracnose, and it's a very good mango.
Yeah.
I'm hoping next year it'll have more fruit on it.
Yeah, I know one grove owner that is the main mango variety, I think, that he planted out there.
Oh.
He grows other things besides mango, but yeah.
But mine, I mean, they get huge.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
just get huge. They're hard to ship because they're too big to put in the lug.
Get a lamp box and just stack them or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we'll go to the next fruit.
Now that almost looks like the Ugly Betty stem on it.
I think you might be right. It seems.
It looks like the stem on it. My
And
Ugly
then-
Betty is one of my favorite ones. It does not produce out in Loxahatchee.
Oh, so you have to come visit us
I
during
do. I
Ugly
have to
Betty
buy 'em.
season, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So sweet and delicious. Ah,
Yeah, just no fiber in it.
no fiber. It's just so a hint, almost. I'm not going to say perfume, but it's very sweet and very.
I think you got a little
tasty.
bit of a bruise there, so let's get you another slice.
That is delicious. How does your tree produce here?
This year it doesn't look like a great year, but some years we have quite a bit of fruit.
Gary's had a lot of fruit at his place. I named that because of the TV program.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know if everybody remembers that TV program, but
I didn't watch it, but well, you have 2 levels of ripeness on this fruit, so I'm going to go
Okay.
for the
greener
the
side.
greener side first, and then we can taste the other side.
This one almost looks like that Karen Michelle, the way the stem is. It's not.
Yeah. Definitely is not. Yeah.
No, it's not. Let me think of what this could be. It's good. Of course, I've never tasted a bad mango.
Oh, really?
I've said,
I have definitely tasted bad mangoes before.
well, I've tasted some that maybe I wouldn't finish the next bite, And I don't like them when they're too overripe. Any of them.
Let's see what this side is like.
Okay, now we had the green side first, or the
Yeah.
not so ripe.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be one of my favorites.
This side that is too ripe.
It's too ripe. The other side was, I think, better.
Yeah.
And some mangoes are that way, aren't they? That they're
Yeah.
better eaten a little greener.
Well, it seems ripe inside. It's just the skin is still green.
Mm-hmm.
So here, let's go back to side number 1.
Okay, this was the green color exterior.
Right.
It's better.
So this variety is Carpe Diem, and so we're trying to taste a lot of fruit this year of this particular variety because we're trying to figure out what influences the flavor and such, because there have been a broad range of flavors of this variety, and so it's still a mystery. It's a new variety.
It is. And I don't know. What's it next to? Was it a seedling that grew up here?
It was a seedling that I grafted onto another plant so to see what it was like, and because I thought it was going to be an interesting seedling.
Okay.
And so it's a multi-year project, of course, when you're going for a new variety. And the first year we had fruit.
Okay, so it produces quickly. And
it was 3 or 4 years ago when we had the first fruit. And that fruit tasted like a cross between cherry and lemon zest. And,
oh, wow.
And then, I mean, there have been other flavors since then, and it's just like, I don't understand.
Do you think the rootstock would have anything to do with that, since you grafted it on a different way? Do you still have the parent tree?
Yeah. I mean, well, it says from the same tree. The flavors have changed over the years, and so it's like even this season we've had different flavors. So anyway, that is it's just one of those varieties that seems like it has some very good potential, but we haven't figured it out yet.
I like the way the stem is.
Yeah,
there.
isn't that distinctive?
Like almost like a navel.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it would keep the bacteria from growing in that area.
Yeah, like sometimes there's a little dent near the stem, and then that part, like in Glen, will get like a black spot.
Right.
But this is just sort of a
protruding,
protruding belly button kind of thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Wow. And the name of it again?
Carpe Diem.
Where did that come from?
It was the position in the grove was determined that name. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Carpe Diem.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. You're going to have to shorten it to make it a more popular name, but I like it, especially if it changes through the season. I mean, if you pick an early one that's starting to mature with a little yellow on it,
yeah, it's
and then later on it has a totally different taste,
right,
even though one side has a different taste than the other side now, which would be the peak. Would now be the peak for this variety.
Yeah. It seems like it's about the middle of the season. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, just out of the varieties that we tasted today, what are the standouts for you? Because I mean, you certainly have a fairly big range of flavors. Just wonder, like maybe 2 fruit that stood out from the rest. I know that
I like the
Venus.
The Venus, well, just because it's different, and it does have a tendency to stay clean, and usually they're a little later than the rest of them. Of course, the coconut cream, and of course the Ugly Betty. Now the Ugly Betty, its stem line is totally different from your Carpe Diem because it is recessed somewhat.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it has,
fortunately, the Ugly Betty has a sort of a waxy skin, so we don't usually get problems with, even though it does have those dents near the stem.
I just cannot bring myself to cut my Ugly Betty tree down. Now, I wanted to maybe put on a different variety like you, and I haven't done so. I have horses that I board. I have a lot to take care of. I have chickens that produce me eggs, which I'm thankful for in this day and age, for
Right.
some protein. And they're year-round, whereas the mangoes aren't.
Hmm.
And but I must do something. I'm going to stop by and get some different fertilizers and see if that would help my production.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you have, continue to have great mangoes out where you are, but it was really a treat to have you come here and taste some of the mangoes that we grow in this part of the county.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing your new varieties and some of the old ones with me also. I always love to eat mangoes, especially with good friends.
Yes. Thank you.